Alright, what's up? No time for dilly-dallying, let's just get straight into it. Joey Wheeler's Battle City deck. Alright. First card he summoned was Gilta the D Knight, but in the show he's a normal monster. And Joey Wheeler did not know about sacrificing, so it made him look like a damn fool in front of everybody. Next he summoned his Sorwdsman of Landstar, and then he played Graceful dice to beef up the monster, but that wasn't enough, so he played a skull dice to lower his opponent's monster's attack. Next he played Alligator's sword. Then he played Baby Dragon with the Time Wizard in order to create, you know what's coming up, 1000 Dragon. But the Jinzo did not age or rust into a heap of scrap, so he got ran over. Next he played a Scapegoat to protect his life points from that Jinzo. Then he used a Roulette Spider, which is not even a real card, and he won the game. Next duel is against Weevil Underwood, which he played Shield and Sword. Probably the only time he ever played it in the Battle City tournament. Next we got Jinzo. I guess he wanted to play Jinzo out, test him out, but ultimately useless in that duel. Next we got Panther Warrior. Now we got Little-Winguard. Used many duels too. Next we got Magical Arm Shield, used against Mako and Weevil to take one of their monsters and use it against them. You know, classic Joey trolley cards. Next we got Gearfried the Iron Knight, used to win the duel against Weevil. Grave Robber to steal several magic cards from the opponent's graveyard, and in one case steal Jinzo back from I forget, Odeon's deck? I forget. Oh, I mean Odeon's graveyard. My bad. Next we got Garuzzi's, only used once in the Battle City tournament. He used this against Mako. He sacrificed a monster, but he was torrential tributed against, so you know, not much screen time for this guy. Next we got our Fairy Box, used against Mako and Odeon. Next he used Polymerization to fuse Alligator Sword and Baby Dragon to create Alligator Sword Dragon. Now here's where it gets a little tricky. Next we have Energy Drain, but he did not use this version. In the cartoon he used a version slightly different. It's a spell and it has a different effect too. But you know, it has the same name, so that's all that matters. Kunai with Chain to literally immobilize his opponent's monsters. Next we got his Lightning Blade, used against Mako's Fortress Whale. Next we got Giant Trunade, which he used to drain the sea against Mako Tsunami. Now we got our Hayabusa Knight, used against Kaiba and against Odeon. Rocket Warrior, used in all kinds of duels, so yeah. Foolish Burial, used to send Jinzo to Odeon's graveyard, and yeah, that's it. That's basically the only time he ever used Foolish Burial, to send Jinzo to an opponent's graveyard. Next we got our Battle Warrior, used against Odeon, nearly wiping out his life points. Legendary Fisherman. This is the part of the... Well, he only used it once, and that was the part where he wanted to summon all his victory cards, I guess, to show everybody that he's like a tough duelist, you know. Next, we used Monster Reborn to summon like a monster in order to sacrifice that to summon his Insect Queen. Again, showing how he got all his strongest cards from all the toughest duels he played. Next we got Axe Raider, only used once in the whole tournament in the 4-way duel. Pretty cool. Next, another card only used once, Question, used against Merrick to decide the fate of the duel, I guess. He had to guess which monster card was under the bottom of Joey Wheeler's deck. He guessed wrong, busted out Jinzo, annihilating all his trap cards. Yeah, you should have seen it. Alright, Guilford the Lightning. Basically Joey Wheeler's ultimate fighting machine. Next, we got our legendary sword, only used against Kaiba to power up Little-Winguard. But then that failed because Kaiba is Kaiba and he had like a card to counter it. Oh, Joey couldn't catch a break. Next, we got our Pot of Greed, used against Kaiba too. And Nutrient Z, also used against Kaiba for the bronze medal, I guess. Next is the, not necessarily in the tournament, but in the virtual world, he had Bottomless Trap Hole. He couldn't use it, but he had it on the field because the guy he was playing, Attorney Johnson, had all these cards that were basically like a bunch of wimps, nothing over 1500 attack points. Next, we got our Goblin Attack Force. Could be seen in his hand when he had to guess whether he was holding a monster card or a spell card. Yeah, whatever. I'm not good at explaining crap. Next, we got Flame Swordsman. It was in his what's it called? You could see it in his hand in the first duel against Esperoba. But, you know, which is kind of weird because in his hand he was a fusion too, and you normally don't have fusions in your deck. But whatever. Oh yeah, and this was also his deck master in the virtual world. Gamble. In his hand against Merrick, but never played. It was discarded due to the effect of Helpawhammer. And in the virtual world he played it and lost the coin toss. There we go. And that's about it. He also used Mai's cards, but you know, they're Mai's, and that's like his love interest, I guess. So yeah, see ya.